All right. Hello, everybody. Hope this is on. I hope you can hear me. Um, so this is just going to be kind of a free-form video about aspects that I think make up a successful thru-hiker. Right? You'll notice that on this list of 5 things I'm going to talk about, you will not see things like specific gear. You know, I have to get the lightest weight option, all that. No, none of that. These are qualities that I have noticed in the thru-hikers that I have met on the Appalachian Trail during my thru-hike, and qualities that I believe all successful thru-hikers have to some degree. Now, a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk about, there are things that will be developed through a thru-hike. So going in, not everybody has all of these qualities, or they will develop them further throughout their thru-hike. So I want you to just keep that in mind while we talk about these. Of course, my name is Timothy. This is my channel, Tim Hikes. You know, for the nerves here. I love beer. Alright, so the first quality I want to talk about is love for the outdoors. Now, despite what you may see on YouTube videos and all that, backpacking is not fun. Backpacking is miserable. You're going to have lots of rain. You're going to have days where it's just raining and mud and bugs and everything else, and you will hate it. You will hate yourself. You will hate those days. Backpacking is not something that is just a glorious experience from start to finish. Now, you have those amazing moments. You have those great days. But for the most part, it's outside. You're sweaty. You smell bad. Everything's dusty. Everything's dirty. And in order to survive that on a mental level, you have to, at some base level, love the outdoors. You have to love being dirty. You have to enjoy this thing that you're doing. You know, you have to enjoy the pain that comes from climbing a mountain and then the joy you get at the top. You know, like, I don't want to say backpacking really is miserable, because it's not. It's beautiful. It's amazing. You're hiking through some of the most gorgeous places in the world. But the negative side of it, the miserable side of backpacking, cannot be understated as well. And you have to understand that, and you have to love that, because if you don't love the outdoors, then that negative stuff is just going to kick your ass, and it's going to be horrible. So, number 2, perseverance. Every thru-hiker that I know has crazy amounts of perseverance, both mental and physical. You know, 2,000 plus miles for the Appalachian Trail, 2,600 for the PCT, even more for the CDT. That is not a short distance. And I feel like when I first started out on the Appalachian Trail, I didn't quite understand what distance was. I didn't have a good comprehension of what a mile really was, or let alone 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, It's a long distance, and it takes a long time, and it requires a lot of physical perseverance as well as mental perseverance. You're out there a lot of times by yourself or with a couple other people. You're missing home, you're missing TV, you're missing all like the wonderful aspects of life, right? And it requires perseverance. And that's definitely a quality that I have seen in every thru-hiker that I have met. Number 3, I would say, is a mindset for simplicity. So you're walking and you're carrying everything that you need, right? That limits what you can bring automatically. No TV. You can have your phone, but a lot of times you won't have service. And you have food, and you have water, and you have shelter, and that's basically it. It's the most simplest way of living that you can possibly imagine, and it's wonderful, and it's awesome, and everybody else that's out there is doing it as well, and they're helping you through the process, and you're helping other people, and but it's a simple lifestyle, and you have to have that mindset of simplicity. Now, like I said, a lot of these things you won't have to begin with, but you will develop through a thru-hike. But I think if you don't have a mindset for simplicity, you will never successfully thru-hike. Number 4 is an independent nature. So a lot of times you'll find people to hike with. On any trail, you'll go out there with somebody, or if you go out there by yourself, you'll quickly find a group. So you're not always by yourself unless you want to be, but you are still your own independent unit. This is another thing I really love about backpacking, is that everything that you need, you're carrying on your back. You have all your food, you have all your water, you have everything you need to make sure you survive. And that independent nature can't be understated at all. So if you're not used to relying on yourself, if you are used to getting help from other people, if you don't know how to take care of things yourself, you will either quickly learn on a thru-hike or you will drop out. That's it, right? I mean, and I think most people will learn, and I think most people, it'll come naturally to them, right? But there's not a thru-hiker that I have met who is not independent on a core level, right? And like I said, that's something that you will most likely develop, and you will have to develop if you want to successfully thru-hike. Number 5 is acceptance of the self. This one is tough, right? I feel like this is the reason the reason most people drop out of the trail, I feel, is not because it's too physically difficult. I think it's because it's too mentally difficult. You have long stretches where you aren't doing anything other than walking and thinking and talking to yourself in your head, right? And you are hiking alone with your thoughts a lot. And your thoughts aren't always the greatest thoughts. You're going back in your mind all the horrible things you've done, all the mistakes you've made, and those things come up and they don't go away. And backpacking forces you to take a look at yourself. It forces you to come to some actualization of who you are and what you've done and where you're going. And if you look at yourself in those moments and you deny it and you push it to the side and say, no, that's not me, then you're gonna fail. You have to come to accept yourself and accept what you're doing. If you don't enjoy hanging out with yourself on the trail, then you will fail. And it's as simple as that. You have to, at some level, accept who you are and yourself. And if you don't, you're gonna fail. You're gonna be miserable and you're gonna hate yourself. So those are 5 things that I feel are necessary for every thru-hiker. You know, if like every thru-hiker that I have met has those 5 qualities. Now, some more so than others, and like I said, of course, you're going to develop a lot of those throughout the trail, but I feel like these things are important and they're necessary, and if you don't have them or are incapable of developing them, then you're not going to successfully hike a thru-hike. So I hope I didn't, put anybody off with that, but yeah, there you go. See if you enjoyed the video. We'll take a look at it. I'd like to quickly tell you about my website, www.timhikes.com. If you'd like to support me on my PCT thru-hike this summer, please consider heading over there to pick up some Tim Hikes merch. Every product you buy will support about 1 day of my hike and will allow me to keep producing content. I will also be publishing my journal for my 2014 Appalachian Trail thru-hike. It's free to view and outlines my thoughts, feelings, struggles, and growth from that time of my life. So please, check that out as well.